Yeah, we're not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
I post on LinkedIn usually at the peak of my starvation. Sorry, guys, don't laugh out of me.
Always hustling. I like your style, man.
And you think, is this a scam or what?
It's definitely a scam. I don't know what you're selling, but I'm buying.
At one point, that guy is gonna offer you a coffee.
No sponsoring still, guys.
Zero, no commission.
Hey all, I'm Sammy from Collaborator Pro. We're a PR distribution marketplace connecting advertisers and publishers. And today I'm talking with Artur Glukowski, who generates more than 150 new followers per week on LinkedIn by spending less than an hour working on creating video content. But this is not just about vanity metrics. Artur is actually creating sales-driven content optimized for AI search engines that actually generate client DMs, not just impressions and likes. So we're going to dig into his video-first multi-channel content strategy and how to build a personal brand where you're more comfortable hiding in a code or content rather than being on camera. Hey, Artur, welcome. How are you, man?
Hey, thanks so much for having me here. Much appreciate the intro and much appreciate the invite. It's an honor and a pleasure to be in the same room with you and with Collaborator Pro team, honestly.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming. We just had you made Patrick a couple of weeks ago. Now it's your turn, and hopefully we'll be able to see each other in real life at one of the conferences soon. I don't think we had this opportunity yet.
I will meet him soon.
Nice. So let's start with what we talked, quickly during the pre-recording call with your how you create content and your system. So you said you're generating like around 150 new followers on LinkedIn a week from less than 1 hour of time creating content and video content. So can you break this down for me? So what are you actually doing, and how does your typical week looks like?
Oh, my typical week, it's rather boring. I must admit this. And 150 sounds like a promising number for me, but let's be honest, for some these are really low numbers, and for somebody else are high numbers. But what I want to be clear with is that to reach this kind of autopilot amount of new followers per week, because let's be honest, like one hour of work per week to get 150 followers, it's almost like on autopilot. To reach these levels, it took me 3 years. So I don't want to sugarcoat that, oh yeah, you can achieve this thing within 1 week, 3 months, 6 months. No, in my case, it took me 3 months of a constant age between mental sanity and psychologist to achieve this kind of growth pace. And to do this, I had to grind every Saturday and Sunday. In the beginning, like, sorry guys, don't laugh out of me, but in the beginning, 3 years ago, when I started on LinkedIn to create a carousel, I was spending 6 hours. So now 6 hours, and that carousel was barely bringing me 10 followers. But you do it once, you do it twice, and 3 times. You do it 6 months, 9 months, and you stick like a spaghetti on the wall, and people start remembering you. And if you don't do something stupid, and you also spread some positive energy, people will remember that you have authority in your niche. You also make them laugh from time to time, like Sami knows how to do. And people, these two things combined, they generate this amount of followers per week. How do I achieve to create one week of content in 1 hour? Well, here I'm kind of cheating. I, I don't use. I'm not used to cheat when I video game, but I kind of learn how to morally, ethically cheat with this content creation things after 2 years of doing a mistake. The mistake was I was not repurposing the content that I was posting in the past. Then 1 year ago, I realized, oh, I don't have a spreadsheet. Let me create a spreadsheet where I group my old content. Now I know that many people, many experienced people here will say, "Come on, are you serious? It took you 2 years to realize that you need a content master sheet." Yeah, it took me 2 years, and after 2 years, I created this spreadsheet. And now what I do is sometimes I don't have time. Sometimes it's slow, for sure. Sorry, just a bias of Macron. But sometimes it takes. It's very. I don't have time, so I go to the content that I posted 3, 4 months ago, and I just repurpose that.
Yeah.
And when I have a little bit more of time, What I do is I enter in a video like this one, for example. I record myself, and from the video that I record in 3 minutes, and to find that content idea took me 2 minutes, I get a transcript that I optimize, polish, partially with the help of Claude sometimes,
Yeah.
and then I paste sometimes the video, sometimes a custom image. And this is how I combine speed with content that people need. And these content ideas are found on Reddit. Just super easy.
Awesome. I was about to ask you how you found your IDs. So I underutilize Reddit. Maybe I'm getting too old for Reddit. I don't know. But can you give me a couple of? I feel like Reddit can be so useful and a gold mine in terms of, as you said, identifying some specific pain points and being able, then to reuse this in your content on other channels. So do you have any specific process, or it's just about like going to the right subreddit and keeping in touch? That's it.
It's super simple. Um, Now, I don't know if we can share the screen, but anyways, in case I cannot, just I will try to be as
You can.
clear as possible. Go to Google, write site, two vertical dots. I don't know how they're called in English. Two vertical dots. Reddit.com. Then the uh,
The quote.
shift. Yeah, the quote, sir. The quote. My English sometimes is broken. Quote. Right. How to close the quote, or how do I close the quote, or why. Click enter, and voila, you have endless content ideas to take, record a video, and generate a content. And my criteria to select the best one is usually the one that have the highest amount of comments. Those are the one that I go for in case I like them. In case I don't, sometimes I exclude it. Sometimes I also pick the one that have just 4 comments, because I know that I can add a lot to that conversation, or I just like it. But if somebody is using the excuse, I don't know how to find content ideas, I don't know if people will find it useful, I just found the solution to that doubt. Open source, free, fast, effective.
Yeah. Are you a salesman? I like the pitch. I don't know what you're selling, but I'm buying.
Yeah, it's free, so try it. But yeah, but you don't need content ideas. You are the Gandalf master here. You have
Yeah, I get
you have 2 terabytes of knowledge in your head. I have barely a half terabyte.
it. Come on, easy. Don't flatter my ego too much from the start. It's gonna be otherwise we're never gonna stop talking. I'm like, ooh, I like
Uh,
that.
yeah, yeah. No, my goal is that you give me a discount code for Streamyard. That's the goal of the flattering.
I see. Always hustling. I like your style, man.
Yeah.
So following up on on this, so okay, let's say I'm wondering how you got started with the videos.
Mhm.
I think for so many people, it's scary, and for me, it was actually super scary just to start this podcast, even with like experience or whatever. Being out there, recording yourself, like stating your opinions to everyone, and kind of potentially be judged more. I don't know. I feel like it's hard for lots of people to get started with videos. Maybe they also have like misconsideration around the equipment that you need, the montage, all the work that you need with editing. Can you tell me a bit more about that? How you can get started easily without having professional setup or whatever?
Okay, this is probably one of the myths that our society has created, that to do something great, or I'm sorry, something that will bring you something, you need expensive stuff. I don't believe in that myth, and I make you some examples. Okay, I must be honest. Like, my camera that I'm using right now for this streaming and also for the recording, for some probably is not the cheapest thing that I can buy on earth, but the camera plus the lens, it's 500 euros. And you can get not top notch, but very, very good quality of recording. Don't you want to go with a camera like this? Well, you don't need to buy a 1400 euros Apple Pro Super Whooper Max. You can just buy a medium low level phone, like I don't know, something, spending 200, 250 euros, put it in front of you on a tripod, do a selfie camera, activate the selfie camera, and start talking. The level of hardware has increased so much in the last 10 years that we don't need to spend money. On top of that, there is this just opulent secondhand market where you can find top-notch
True.
quality stuff for half of the price, because people for some reason throw stuff. So you just don't forget about this myth that you need to spend money. Do you have your phone? Great, that's enough. Open that phone. Don't you have a microphone? No problem. It's gonna pick your voice. One thing I must be honest, probably is gonna help you is a light. Just try to buy a light. If you don't have a light, try to be in front of the window. But if you're living in the north until April, you're doomed because there is no light. If you're around Spain, maybe you're lucky. But light probably is the only thing that you need. Mm, but no need for fancy stuff.
Get you. Okay. And regarding the editing part, how much time do you spend on editing? Is it something that you do yourself, that you automate with AI? You have someone else
Mm.
working on it, or is it something that's actually so simple with the format of videos that you have that you don't have to spend too much time on this?
Yeah, I'm in the second scenario because what I do is that I spot the content ID on Reddit. I go to Claude. I ask Claude, please give me a transcript to follow using my criteria. I have a set of training data. So follow my
Mhm.
criteria, give me a transcript, a script to follow. I follow that script, and all what I need to do is just to remove the gaps between, because I need to read the script, and I like to read the script either on my phone or on the tablet. So I have like 3-4 seconds of empty space, but I use a software called Descript, and Descript has an AI function that allows you to remove the silent gaps from one word to the other. So you just click that, and it automatically removes the dead zones, and all what is left to do is just to be sure that you are comfortable with the final video and add the captions. Overall, let's assume that I need to record one video about how to do SEO keyword research. To find the content idea, to record, and to edit, usually it would not take me more than 25 minutes.
Wow.
Let's say 20.
Wow. Wow, that's impressive. So I've tried recording some short videos too, besides on top of the podcast for YouTube, and I'm struggling a lot. So you managed to record them like in one go, basically, and then you're good. Or oh, wow, it's something I'm still struggling a lot with. For me, having the conversation like that is fine, but when I'm just trying to follow the script and everything, I just start. I don't know. I just start like to struggle, and it's not as smooth. So it's interesting to hear that for you. It's super easy.
Yeah, I feel I, I'm aware that everybody is different. Not for me, being in front of the camera is a comfortable thing. I still feel embarrassed, but I feel comfy. So it's
Okay.
this kind of clash. Some people, I acknowledge that they are not gonna be in that scenario. They, for them, the camera is a no go. No problem. Still, you can go on Reddit, find a content idea, and create a text based content. But the point is that by not investing on video, they are renouncing to one of the few, last and few, differentiating factors in this AI generated era. All what is left to us is our face. So let's use this last asset that we have until it's gonna be replaced probably in 1 year. So
Yeah.
I know it's
I was about to say
it,
that. For how long?
yeah. So we have 1 year of advantage. Let's use it.
100%, man. And also something about YouTube is, and the videos in general, it's like the thing that frustrate me with LinkedIn and regular content is that it decays so fast. Okay, they changed the algo recently last year,
Yeah.
so your lifetime cycle of your, the life cycle, sorry, of your post is a bit longer now. But still, when you compare it to YouTube, like when you post content, it keeps on attracting views, and that's the main differentiator. When you post on LinkedIn, your content is dead after a week or two.
Even 3 days.
So this
I would.
is, yeah, sometimes even 3 days, true. And as you said, right now, I mean, I stopped posting on LinkedIn a few 6 months, 8 months ago, or even a year ago. I started to be really bored with the overall quality of content and AI generated comments, AI spam everywhere, everyone sounding the same. So I feel like what you're pitching here does make sense, like being in front of the camera, you actually differentiate yourself from everyone else with the same content, the same comment, sounding exactly the same. And we still have this opportunity to use it as great differentiator and to use it to generate leads. And so for you, I'm curious to see How has it worked when you first started to release the videos? Did you get leads immediately? Do you get more leads now thanks to videos? How does it work?
Here, I'm just an ordinary guy who started from zero on LinkedIn, and I didn't have any mentor, any team assisting me. I was an intern when I started, so I neither had
Oh,
money to invest on these things. So it took me 1 year before starting getting leads. 1 year. And it took me 1 year also to get what I wanted, because I started on LinkedIn not to grow my business. I started on LinkedIn just to unlock and help probably my career. Main goal. I didn't want to get rich. I just wanted to help my career. That's why I started on LinkedIn. And it took me 1 year. So I know that there are people out there who achieved 20,000 followers in 6 months, and I know people achieved 200,000 followers in 2 years. Those are impressive results. But let's be honest, in terms of percentage, how many are those people? I'm ready to bet that it's less than 0.2% of users on LinkedIn who are capable to achieve that growth pace.
even less, man. Like I think it's people like maybe 5 people that did that. I feel like I read a stat a while ago. I'm not sure if it's still accurate, but around 1% only of people were posting on LinkedIn. I don't know if that's still around that range or not, but just people posting, and then you have people like posting constantly and trying to gain the followers and playing the game like we're doing. But and I guess maybe we're just the 0.1%. So the one that reaching those results, then maybe like 0.0001%. I don't know. So I feel like comparing yourself to that kind of result doesn't make any sense. And I used to when I first started, and I used to be interested in the followers and impression and all of that. And this guy has more followers, so maybe I can do that. And then I realized, what I wanted is also like you said, I wanted more. I mean, first I wanted to take part in the conversation, but mostly I wanted to generate leads and not vanity metrics. So, like at the end of the day, as long as what you're doing, like first, is authentic and you're able to generate leads and not just random likes, I feel like it's successful.
Yeah, I totally agree. And but what I also want to highlight is that everybody has their own pace. Don't use the masters as your benchmark. Otherwise, you are
Yeah,
just discouraged.
yeah.
Keep in mind that the average amount of impressions, and this data that I'm gonna tell you come from Shield Analytics,
Okay.
one
Yeah.
of the most trustworthy sources of data when it comes to LinkedIn. Their data speak about an average amount of impressions per post in the 0 to 1000 followers group of people. The average impression there, it's around 150 per post. So if you are from 0 to 1000, keep in mind that the average amount of impressions is 150. If you are in the 1000 to 5000, if I remember correctly, the average amount of impressions is around 250, 280.
Wow.
So it's easy to be harsh on ourselves. This post got just 300 impressions. Yeah, but you have 4,000 followers, and do you know which one is the average? Well, most likely you are doing already 50% more than the average. So if you want to find this post, just search Andreas Jonsson on LinkedIn. He's the CEO of Shield, and he published this post every month. So they help a lot.
That's great. I feel like when you're first starting, you see, those great influencers. I was always also like comparing myself to like I'm like, oh my god, Mark Williams Cook. Oh my god, the content is so good, the engagement and all of that. But sure, but it's like a few people only, and they have like 20 years of experience plus. So I appreciate what you just said regarding realize where you are, at what stage you are, and don't be too hard on yourself. And at the end of the day, the main thing that I've learned like from LinkedIn, I'm not doing it well myself, but it's like consistency beats like everything else. Just be consistent with the pace that you can have. I don't know what's the ideal pace, but for me, I'm thinking maybe 1 to 2 posts now only because I'm getting quite lazy. But for you, have you found your ideal pace? What works well for you, like bringing you the enough results? As again, like just spending a week, an hour a week working on it.
Okay, here I repeat again, everybody has their own pace. Uh, I cannot stop thinking about sometimes it's too slow for sure. But you can grow on LinkedIn. just follow your pace, because somebody has just time for one post per week, somebody
Mhm.
else has time for five posts a week, somebody has time for three posts a week. Stay in your pace, don't burn out. If you know that you cannot do more than that, don't try. Stay there as long as it brings you growth and you preserve your mental health. In my case, I found that the ideal pace between comfort and performance is four posts per week.
Cool.
I
I
cannot go
like that.
more.
Wow. I
I
mean,
cannot go
that's good
more.
already.
I also tried for 6 months five. Like until last week, for 6 months, I have been posting five times a week. It was still good. The content creation is easy. The point is that it takes what takes a lot of time is the commenting. So, but
Exactly.
I, yeah, I can create five posts a week. I can post those, but I don't want to post without engaging with other content creators, because on top
Yep.
of posting, what helped me unlock a lot of things are the comments, the support day in, day out on some content creators.
That was the same when I first started too. I mean, when 2 years ago, it was very different. You could post anything and get 10,000 impressions. You go gaining 100 followers a day with random posts. You're like, what's happening? Just because I'm posting. Now it's quite different. But I feel like this is still something that works really well. And it's just basic human psychology too. You know, you offer support to other people, they come back and they support you too. So I do appreciate this side of the LinkedIn game. That there's still like like you, like Patrick, Sammy, Peter. Like we have a few good guys around that are supporting each other, and I do appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, for example, let me mention the example of Jairo. We started
Yeah.
working together because I have been commenting his post probably for 7 months. So I was sticked on his feed, and at one point he said, "Would you like to work with me by any chance?"
I love
And
that.
this is just one example. But today morning, I got another email from probably one of the coolest B2B marketing agencies currently in Europe. And he told me the same. Would you like to have a call in the future just to know each other? Because I have been commenting his posts day in and day out, but not with the goal of achieving this.
Yeah.
My goal was not to get to start working with them. My goal was simply to support his content because I was really enjoying it. And as a byproduct, I get these emails.
That's really relevant because I feel like some people might be doing it the wrong way and be like, okay, I'm going to comment, I'm going to engage, and then right away try to extract value from the people, you know? And that's not what we're trying to do here. You offer the value, you offer the support, and you let
Yeah,
the relationship build itself until like they give you back.
sure. Yeah.
This way will be genuine. Otherwise, if you try directly to get something out of it, it's probably not going to work out, and it's not the right approach, also, in my opinion.
Actually, all what I got in the last 2 years because of LinkedIn, I got it thanks to comments, yes, but the commenting session or sequence started without any goal. It was just,
Yeah.
I want to support this guy or this girl because their content is nice, but I was starting mm, with the bias that nothing will happen after that comment. But you do it once and twice and 6 months, and something happens. It's like you are walking on the streets of Barcelona and you say once and twice and five times good morning to the guy in the cafeteria. At one point, that guy is gonna offer you a coffee,
Yeah.
most likely.
Yeah, that reminds me of How to Win Friends and Influence People, the old book. That's kind of the same
Yeah.
philosophy. I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm just curious to finish a bit on that part. Like now that you've built this experience, those successes, doing collaboration with great brands on LinkedIn, and all of that. I'm wondering if you, when you think about your past and how you made it on LinkedIn the last 3 years, if you would have done anything differently now that you gained more experience. You know.
Yeah, there is just one thing that I would have done differently. Actually, two. The first one, start the master spreadsheet as soon as possible. That was a huge mistake that I did. I did the
Same.
calculation of how many working hours I wasted. I'm not exaggerating. I did the calculation with a rather realistic average full time salary, which is 25 euros per hour. I multiplied per the amount of estimated wasted working hours, and I had a total of 15,000 euros. So because of a lack of a master sheet, I suppose I wasted 15,000 euros because I every week I was creating new content from scratch again and again and
Oh
again.
my
So yeah, so I suppose in 2 years I wasted 15 hours, 15,000 euros if they were paid.
God.
But de facto, I didn't really lose money. But just to give you an idea, so master sheet first thing, do it as soon as possible, and second thing, okay, here I'm gonna polarize opinions, but give a little bit of space to lead magnets. Call them lead magnets, call them freebies, call them honeypot content. People call them in different ways depending by the platform, but give more space to those. Currently, many people dislike those, but from my perspective, I'm telling you very honestly that I love lead magnets. I never found a single lead magnet that disappointed me. I always ask them, they always give me some lead magnet and just a tiny bit of things I always learn out of it, assuming that I'm opening it, because sometimes I just don't open it. But still, with those that I opened, they have been always very interesting. So as a consumer, they give you knowledge, and as a service provider, knowledge provider, they will bring you leads. I overestimated the power of organic content to generate leads.
I see. Okay. So you frame your contents to generate leads properly. So link magnets, case studies, all of that will get you more leads. Yeah, I get that. This is something I haven't really leveraged and used enough myself. I remember getting leads, now I'm not posting anymore, but I was getting leads like with sarcastic content, like with things that were not showcasing my skills at all. So then I tried, I think, a couple of case studies, and then the leads were coming in like 5 times more, and I was like really surprised. I didn't push it enough after to try to replicate it or take advantage of it. But from your own experience, what has worked well in terms of link magnet, or even what kind of link magnets did you appreciate the most? If you can share anything about that.
Some examples of, for example, in SEO, there is this guy called Patrick Wawok. Probably you know, probably you don't. You for sure you know, but who's gonna listen this video? Maybe they don't. Anyways, follow him on LinkedIn, and he does these very interesting lead magnets where he breaks down big e-commerces, what they're doing in terms
Yes.
of technical SEO. He, I know him, so he told me quite frankly that he spends like 2 days structuring that lead magnet, full time, 2 days of analysis. So it's really a lot of work. We're talking about 20 hours of work to structure those. But his analyses are really solid and super funny to read because he opens this Pandora pot and he tells you what they are doing that you could do. This is one example. And yeah, I think that's the first one, the only one that I can mention right now. There are many others that I spot, but the only one that I think really convincing.
Yeah, now I see. I think I remember. I think he did one on Gymshark. I don't remember when, but I remember seeing his like huge presentation with everything connected together. It was definitely not a couple of hours of work. So 20 hours of work
I
makes
spoke with
sense.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me that it takes a long time.
Do you think there is a way of leveraging also like case studies, your own content, more like your own experience too? Is it something that you've tried to be like, okay, this is what I've done for this client, and to try to get more
Yeah.
similar clients too?
hmm Yeah. Okay. So here there are a lot of things to disclose. I'm preaching lead magnets, but do you think that I'm the one that used lead magnets? No,
Nope.
I didn't use them. So, but they are like loading, constantly loading. In theory, well, actually, in practice, I launched two lead magnets. One is a 90-minute playbook for busy founders to grow their LinkedIn, and that one was a 7-day course, 7-day landing
Okay.
course. It gave me leads for sure, but I still consider myself underusing lead magnets, so I'm not really a good benchmark of what lead magnets work and what they do not work. About case studies. Case studies, well, those I use them quite often, and maybe they don't. I don't believe in the fact in the power of you post today and tomorrow is gonna be a lead in your inbox. Sometimes it happens, but the majority of contacts that I had, partnerships that I had, they were people who saw the case study and the lead magnet, one of those that I shared, and the how-to that I shared, the carousel, the video, and then they decide to
Yeah.
contact me to
Yeah.
work together. So if somebody has case studies, share those. Here, a question that I had before I started sharing case studies is, can I share case studies without the client authorization? It's a legitimate question because you may have problems, but there is a beautiful example of a lady. She's working for, let's put it nicely, she works for a big corporation in the SEO industry, and she manages the profiles of this. Sorry, she's not managing the profile. She's helping them grow on LinkedIn through content strategies. What she does is she posts the case studies of these people without showing them anywhere. She just makes it anonymous.
Yeah.
So, don't you have the authorization of your client? Share it anonymously. They cannot say anything. Like, just complete cover it up. Of course, if you have a great authorization from them, even better. But if you don't have it and you have a solid case study where you know that you just increased the site traffic from 1,000 to 14,000 in 1 year, and or even better, you brought a LinkedIn profile from 8,000 followers to 20,000 followers, and now they get podcast invitations and leads. Between not sharing it and trying to share something and blurring everything, go with the second option. If somebody asks you for more details, they can text you in the DMs, and then you can share it. But even in that case, you build your authority, in my opinion. What do you think?
I agree with that. Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, I've shared things like anonymously. I've shared with the client's name. Sometimes what I try to do when the client is not super excited about having his data public and some results public is like, I'm like, all right, but how about making the post kind of an ad for you guys too. So it's not just about my case studies. At the end, there's also like a little
Mhm.
section about how great your product is or whatever, and I try to promote you guys at the same time. And it worked in the past with a couple of clients that they were not super excited, and they were like, "All right, well, so we're getting a free post on LinkedIn." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Uh,
Mhm.
that could be also, another tweak
Sure.
if they push back initially. But I agree. I think you need to share whatever you have. My problem when I first started is I thought you needed to have like those amazing results, 100x increase in traffic or whatever, like the most absurd results. And now I just realized, you don't need to be like the most advanced. You don't need to be the most knowledgeable. You just need to share your experience. And this is what I like about your content too. You're quite young and you started quite very young to post on LinkedIn. I was terrified of posting on LinkedIn for years of just being out there and expressing my opinions. And I think the earlier you start doing that, the best you're gonna get. You get feedback from other people. You think much more. You start like playing with sales and other aspects too. And I really hope that if there are like more junior SEOs or younger SEOs watching us, I really hope that they follow your path and start being active on LinkedIn.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, consistency is the differentiator in many cases. Somebody saying that, oh yeah, I start and then they stop after 1 month. Oh yeah, I start
Yeah,
and they stop after 3 months. Maybe you get some results in 3 months, but it's gonna be an intensive sprint and that's it. The real results come from sticking around for a long time, long time. And I have seen that in my case it has been a snowball effect. First year, getting something. I got a full time role. I was starting to get my first LinkedIn partnerships. I still remember when Sam Rush wrote me, really? Me? Come on. Yeah. So it was a big deal back then. Then the second year, the revenue got higher because more people remember me. On top of that, I more people discover me and more brands discover me. The third year, this year started like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Because it's the third year on the platform and it's piling up and piling up and
yeah,
piling up. So I in these last 4 weeks, I really saw the effects of this, and consistency is the answer here. Consistency.
Awesome. Love that. Okay, now to go to talk a bit more about the videos again. So, can you walk me through your process? Let's say I'm recording a 5-minute video. What happens next? Then you said you could repurpose it into other forms. So, what do you usually do once you record it?
Okay, so let's assume that you want to record the video today. Sit in front of the camera, read a script. You have a video. The next stage that you should do is remove the dead parts of the video, clean up
Mhm.
those. Remove those. They're a bit boring. They take time. Remove those. Remove the gaps, as I told before. Just remove the dead zones of the video, and now you have a more or less polished video. Now I don't know what tool they use. I use the script in this case. So here you can really see the transcript of the video together with the video. So what I often do is I see that the hook is not really the best one. So sometimes I take the last part of the video, I cut it, and I put it on top. Because usually we warm up in the beginning. We do this useless intro. It's like with the pitch deck, with the startup pitch deck. You speak about how much money you're making at the end, but put it at in the beginning. You need to convince investors about that, so put it in the beginning. The same thing is about the outro. Usually it's the strongest part. I cut it out, I put it on top, and then there is the last part of the video. Now the video in theory is ready. Don't forget captions. Last part, you need to create a text post. Here is the easiest, and no, it's not the easiest. Sorry, especially if you do it for somebody else, that could be a bit complicated. But if you do for you, if you do it for yourself, it's honestly the easiest part. Just download the transcript of the video, go to Cloud,
Yeah.
paste the transcript. Now, listen carefully here because it's easy to spot an AI generated content. How can you avoid to generate slop? Well, there is this wonderful content creator on LinkedIn. He is probably one of the best copywriters in the world. His name is Nicholas Cole. Nicholas Cole on LinkedIn, and he has also two interesting books. A bit some months ago, he shared a great carousel on LinkedIn: 15 signs that your content is written by AI. Download that carousel, study it, and feed Claude with it. Now you can paste your transcript, ask for 3 variations of your LinkedIn post, pick one variation, and start humanizing it. Because
Yeah.
even with all the training, there are some imperfections. Sometimes Claude cannot stop repeating the things in blocks of 3 for some
Yeah.
reason. It follows this rule of 3. So humanize it, and you're ready to go. Like
Awesome.
if I do it for myself, it really does not take more than 20 to 25 minutes. If I create posts for clients, then I can go even up to 40, 45 minutes with all of this because I really want to be precise with them. With myself, I'm just good enough. Let's go.
Mm. How do you customize the tone of that Claude is using if it's a post for you versus a post for one of your clients? Do you feed Claude like a specific style to follow for you, another style to follow for your client? So it's something that you edit yourself manually at the end?
Usually, I end at the end. There is this backbone provided by Claude, and then I start polishing it, changing the hook, putting humor inside. So all what is left is this cyborg creation, basically,
Mm.
half AI, half human.
Now, the fact that just that you were mentioning Claude and not GPT, I've stopped using GPT like 4 months ago, I think, ChatGPT. And
Yeah,
for anything, even for coding, I think Claude is really, really good. Claude Code is amazing. And
mm,
I just love Claude.
yeah.
Just want to say that.
I heard a lot of news are happening because of Claude code in the SaaS industry. It's like the wipe coding is approaching a very high level of quality.
Yeah, I've created a couple of tools with it. One, a geo tool, It's really good. Like 6 months ago, it was not as good. Now it's really, really, really good, the level of coding. So I encourage everyone to test it out and to start creating your own tools. It can be like even a tool to help you with creating quotes and proposals. I just did that last week. Like something very basic. I input everything from Ahrefs, lots of info, and then it creates the proposal for me with all the keywords, computer analysis, and all of that. And
Yeah.
it's much easier than what you think. So if you
Yeah.
guys listening never played around with Cloud Code, please do it.
Yeah, we're not sponsored.
Not sponsored, not true. We just love the tool.
That's the point. Yeah. That's my logic behind the comments. I just love your
Exactly.
content, you know. I don't want to be sponsored by you.
If you want to sponsor me, please reach out via DM. It's fine. So once the video is published, so using this for LinkedIn, I'm wondering if you also started to leverage that also on use that on YouTube. You posting that elsewhere, your videos, or you just focusing on LinkedIn for now with video content?
Wonderful question that I would like that I could answer with a positive yes. I repurpose. The problem is that I post on LinkedIn usually at the peak of my starvation because I don't have breakfast. I'm not a breakfast person. So I arrive at the posting time, which is 1:30 local time, and then with all the commenting and post commenting and posting, it's 2:15. So I'm so hungry that I just run to eat. And but in theory, the repurposing would be super easy because I already have the vertical video on LinkedIn. I
Okay.
should just download it, open my YouTube because I have unknown YouTube professional channel. I could repurpose it quite easily there, and I could repost it also on Instagram and also on TikTok.
Ah, true.
With and I do this with my travel content. I see that once I have one vertical video ready, to repurpose it also on TikTok and YouTube, it usually takes 90 seconds, maximum 2 minutes for each platform. So the heavy lifting is my first platform, Instagram, because I need to create the copy, I need to create the video. Once it's ready there, TikTok 2 minutes, YouTube Shorts 2 minutes, and I cover three platforms. Why do I manage to do this with my travel content and I don't do it with my LinkedIn content? For the reason I told you before, because I'm hungry and I those 4 minutes I'm not disposed to spend 4 minutes to do that. So what happens is that at the end of the day I have posted only on LinkedIn.
I didn't expect this answer. That's a really fun one. I didn't even think
Same.
about Instagram. I'm not a really social media guy. You think there's, I mean, from what you're telling me, from the logistic perspective, the preparation, the work required, it 100% makes sense to publish on other platforms once you have the original video, right?
No.
But in terms of interest, is there like an interest for professional topics like SEO on Instagram and TikTok? Is it something that you've seen working in the past? I have zero knowledge about that.
Okay, in my case, I didn't. I must be honest. I until 6 months ago, even four, LinkedIn was my only platform. So I have a very short benchmark to tell you whether Instagram or TikTok or YouTube work for SEO shorts. I don't know. In my case, I barely posted 3 videos about this, and I don't know if it works. It brought me just 200 or 200, 400 views, something like this. Never
Okay.
over 1,000. But I'm pretty confident it could work. Let's let's take as an example. What's the name of the guy? Edward something. Edward. Wait, let me Edward SEO. Sure, I can find him. No, I can't. Anyways, he's a legend on YouTube. He has a lot of subscribers. Like probably he passed 200,000 subscribers, and he posts also on Instagram. And his shorts do 6 million views.
What? On
Yeah,
Instagram? What?
yeah, on Instagram. So there is space for these things on other social media. I don't believe that Instagram is only for leisure purpose. TikTok either. Probably a bit more. But Instagram has a lot of space for professional content. If I open my feed, it's full of marketing tips for freelancers, LinkedIn tips. So if I have this content on the feed, probably millions of other people have this.
Makes
And I
sense.
believe in
I
the
don't have
power of.
Instagram, so I wouldn't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't realize there were like some professional tips there too. Content. That's good.
Yeah.
So for YouTube, do you YouTube gets ton of AI citation first? Like it's working really well to get mentioned in the LLMs, especially the AI
Mhm.
reviews from Google, which is not surprising.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you have done anything like to optimize for YouTube videos, like I don't know, the transcripts, the description, maybe match the search intent in the title, or none of that.
No, I don't pretend to be a multi-channel to that level. YouTube is one of those things that I still need to get better. I know how to create a script. I know how the basics of SEO, but I have never had a video for a client or for myself that did wow. I created a few, like 10, 15. They're around 500 views, 600. I posted them 1 month ago, so they're pretty recent. They're piling up the results, but I don't consider myself that a person who knows how YouTube works. It's just I enjoy it, I post it, but nothing convincing, honestly.
Okay, thanks for your honesty, though.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
so
want to
to go
pretend to
back
be.
to content and what we talked about in the pre-recording call, I think you were quite comfortable talking about the sales-oriented SEO content with the FAQs, optimization for the LLMs, and all of that. Do you want to tell me anything about that? Do you want to talk about this topic a bit?
Sure, let's go.
So, can you tell me a bit about the content for LLMs and what makes like sales driven content versus regular content? How do you optimize for sales too?
There are different theories about this, about SEO content, where you should start from. I follow the following theory. If I should bring you traffic in the first 3 months of working together, I would like that traffic to be also sales oriented. So, between choosing to invest on how to do a thing and best, let's assume that we're talking about a software doing something, between choosing a how to do something and best softwares to achieve that, as you are a software, I prefer to take the second road and to invest on best softwares to achieve that. Why is it so? Because we achieve we st- we st- it's a long journey to achieve real topical authority in a niche if you're starting from scratch. But by investing on this kind of sales oriented type of content, I believe that you start building topical authority in your niche in front of Google, but at the same time, you attract traffic that is a bit more prepared to buy. Do I totally exclude educational content from the bucket? Not at all, because this I follow this approach that my former manager taught me, Jairo Guerrero. We were following together this approach of out of 5 blog posts that you need to post in a month, let 4, let's make 4 sales oriented posts and 1 educational one. So you build
Oh
topical
wow!
authority and you attract a lot of sales. Now, in the recent months, I also included something else when I do a content strategy. I put educational blog posts, sales oriented navigational blog posts, but I started put also landing pages in the content plans. So
Yeah,
I believe that, for example, you are a marketing agency active in New York, for sure, teach people how to do SEO, assuming that SEO is your niche. Teach people how to do SEO, SEM, and LinkedIn ads. But at the same time, don't forget that you also need a landing page where you targeting the keyword New York LinkedIn advertising agency. Otherwise, you're gonna just negatively affect your discoverability when a person is searching for a LinkedIn advertising agency in New York. Why is it so? Because probably your homepage is targeting just New York marketing agency, but you're not targeting LinkedIn advertising
yeah.
agency. So I always try to put this. different aspects in a content strategy, mixing blog educational, blog sales, and landing pages.
Awesome. That's something that I've struggled a lot until maybe like 4 years of experience, something like that, like for a while. And I'm a bit ashamed of that. But I was really focusing on educational content too much. So, that will create situations where I will bring so much traffic to my clients, but it will be dead traffic, right? You'll be like, even for e-commerce, like I'll be like, oh yeah, look at all the new traffic. And the client will be like, yeah, but the sales didn't really pick up that much. There's no like big correlation between the two. So I appreciate this approach of 80% sales content and 20% more educational. And I don't think, I never followed that.
Do you
That
know
kind of
who
make
taught
me
me
think
this?
of Jairo,
Yeah,
you
Jairo,
said?
but I think also there is another marketing agency, well, more an academy. Um, their name is Grow and Convert. It's a very interesting marketing agency, and they have this SEO academy, and
Okay.
also they speak about this. But I discovered them thanks to Jairo. So I really suggest you read their content. Like 2 years ago, it was mind blowing when I was
I'm
reading their
gonna read
content.
that. I don't know them, and they seem to be working with awesome clients
Their,
and stuff.
their blog deserves more visibility.
And they even have their own tool tracker. There. Okay. No sponsoring still, guys.
Zero, no commission.
Okay. Just to continue a bit with that, so for the content side of things, one thing that seemed to be quite important for the LLMs, it's the freshness of the content and how often we come back and update the content, add more useful information to it. And I'm wondering, how do you do it? How do you make sure that when you come and update those articles, you actually add real value to the content? And it's not like just adding some BS just to say, oh, I updated my article. Is it something that you even have to think first when you first write it to not have like full topical coverage and then you add more items in your articles? Or I'm really wondering how people do it properly to update their content like on a real monthly basis sometimes without
Mm,
adding stuff.
no, no, I'm not. I don't follow that. Okay, so yeah, monthly basis updates. Not a big fan. I know that it could work, but what I try to do is, for example, I try to update them at least every 3 months. Okay, here I must be honest. Sometimes I update them, but I cannot add anything more. I just changed really. I
Just
really
trying to cheat
changed
the
it.
system.
Yeah, I just changed the date, and maybe I simplify the intro because I see the intro has a very complicated flash score, so it's a bit complicated for AI search engines to retrieve that content. So I simplify the introduction or the outro. But here I'm assuming that the content is already perfect the moment I open it. Because I have created, oh my gosh, sounds so cocky. Sorry, guys, but I assume
I've created the content. The content is perfect.
yeah, I assume that I have created that content, so I have already followed best practices. But sometimes there are these better cases where I need to refresh content that has been posted just probably 6 months ago, but I open it and they don't have trustworthy statistics in the beginning. They don't have a key takeaway section before the article begins. Then you
Mhm.
scroll down and you realize that it's just one huge block of text without any custom image. Then it's a comparison article, maybe between softwares, posted just 6 months ago when we were already fully aware what we need to be retrieved by AI search engines. And then you realize that there is not one single comparison table in the content. So these are those low hanging fruits that are just super easy for me. I can of course refresh it just by changing the date, but I can also add all what I told you, and I most likely can also make the flash score better because many business owners or generalistic mm, content writers, they are not so nerdish about this SEO things. So they write a good article, but probably it's complicated. It has a flash score of 15 or 16. So you do these things, and I think you make everybody happy. You make your soul happy because you're doing everything ethical. You make the client happy. You make the reader happy, and you make LLMs
Mm.
happy. Terminador.
Cool. Yeah, from my experience, front loading the main info as soon as possible in a very clear way is important for LLMs for them to retrieve the info easily and not having to read the whole page and struggle with some concepts sometimes. And
Mhm.
one thing I also do when I'm not, I was not the one writing the content initially, or if I wrote it and it was bad for some reason, it's to remove any fluff. It's to try to just focus on what's the essence of the article. And most of the time, especially when you use AI, I feel like there could be lots of fluff hanging around, and I try really to remove that and only keep the most useful information. Go to straight to the point with as little bullshit as possible. Just really go to the point. When it has to be salesy, I understand sometimes you need to frame it differently. But I
Yeah.
really appreciate doing that, both on one article, on articles like specifically, but also overall across the website. So if I see content that's underperforming for a while, that's not generating any impressions, I love cleaning that. When I see no point in updating, I just remove it. I just remove all, and your clients are like, we're deleting content. They're like, no. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna delete content. We're gonna clean the situation, update the ones that has potential, and then we're gonna create more articles on top of that.
I had the same reaction on Friday, on Tuesday this week. Yeah, this is 160 blog posts out of 300 that you currently have. All these 160, they need to be deleted. How deleted? How is it possible? Yeah, because they had less than 500 impressions in 6 months and less than 5 clicks in six
Oof.
months.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
what's the sense of spending? So, I think it's just more beneficial to pew, throw them out.
Yeah, I guess it just feels weird for some clients to be like, but I'm paying you to remove the content, not adding it. Oh, wait a second here.
Yeah, sorry to admit, but yeah, that's the reason. Yeah.
Awesome. Next, a quick section about personal branding again. And I'm wondering, you've been working on your own account. You've been also working on other accounts too. So you have like kind of unique insights, being able to test different things on different accounts and not just work with your own. So first, I'm wondering, how do you adjust your strategy across different accounts? Are you able to just use basically the same strategy and tweak it a little bit here and there? Or is it something that you need to remain authentic? You need to really have something really different on each account?
Yes, that's the case. That's the case. I make you some examples. When you work for example, Silicon Valley founders, usually they are quite confident in what they're saying. So they make the things easy.
Mm,
They send you a note without any doubt that what they're saying is good. All what you need to do is to make it look nice, include a nice hook, format it nicely, and sometimes drive visitors to their product. But those are the easiest one to manage because they already built multi-million companies. They know nice people, nice, sorry, like how can I put it? They know other people who build big things, so they are pretty confident that they have experience. So you don't have to convince them that what they're saying is worth it. Then there is the other level of people who never been using LinkedIn, who build something, but they didn't reach stellar ARRs. And in that case, you need to really and usually they're perfectionists because they never posted on LinkedIn, on socials in general. They don't know how socials work. They don't know that good enough is good enough. So they ask even 12 rounds of feedback in the first month. So it's crazy. But once they are confident with you, you can start playing a little bit with memes
yeah.
and content that is a bit less polished. But these people usually you need to treat them in a way that your content is very polished. You cannot play too much because they think that they disappoint somebody. You cannot go off rail because they are afraid that people are going to judge them.
Yeah.
And then there are this is personal experience. So probably other ghostwriters are gonna tell you, no, I experience also other kind of characters. That the third character is somebody who likes to post a lot of relaxing type of content. Like, for example, I'm a father with two children, and this is my ordinary life. I do this, I do that. And then sometimes they put, I know how to manage my multi-million company, but I'm still a father loving my dogs. And those are quite relaxing to create. They just send you a vocal, and you just need to make it nicely. But they are like playful, joyful, still confident. So here I described basically three kind of people: the one sure of themselves as hell, you just need to polish their content and send it to them. The one that are afraid to click post, and you need to be their psychologist, making them understand that they're cool. And then there is the third level of confident plus cheerful. So the probably the third case is the best one.
I kind of feel I might be concerned by the second category. So for someone paralyzed by perfectionism, let's say,
Yeah.
what's the minimum like viable post that they could publish? Because I think I was really in that situation, and it was hard. I was forcing myself just to publish and keep publishing, but I wanted it to be always better. I wanted to be fun and then provide information and then like everything at once. Um, what's your advice for people that are in this situation? Like people that overthink, they're paralyzed by perfectionism, and they overthink everything when they need to post. Instead of overthinking, how would you give them actionable tips to make sure they keep posting and they stay consistent instead of overthinking every time and be like it's not good enough?
Here it's complicated because there are people who are just like that by default. So they need first to be they need to have a penguin jumping in the water before them to understand that the water is safe. Otherwise, they don't jump. uh, Different personalities, and they need to behave differently. But what I can tell to these people who are stuck in the perfectionism because they think that somebody's gonna notice them, they're gonna think that they're a bit loco. What I can tell to them is try posting for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and you will quickly realize that people don't care about you as much as you think. You will be afraid that your post gets seen too much, and then 4 weeks later you'll start complaining, LinkedIn algorithm is shit, I don't have impressions.
I don't have it pressures. I understand exactly. The ego will take over.
So just post and build a brand. But every personality is different. So I'm this guy who was going out of home, still trying to close my jeans because I was late. So each personality is different, but what I can tell you is that just start, because all what you have in front of you by posting on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on your blog is growth. Nothing. You are at In the worst scenario, you're at zero. So in this physical world, you cannot go to -1 unless we're talking about banks. But just with your account, you are at zero, you stay at zero. So it's all growth in front of you. So why to stop? Just post.
Yeah, I would say the same. Put your ego on the side. Just start it. Say you're gonna stick to it for 3 months, 6 months, I don't know, at least, and see what happens. And then you learn from it, you fail, and you play the game. It's harder now,
Also,
maybe on some platforms like LinkedIn, but still, not many people are doing it. If you want to be different, if you want to generate leads, it's still a great way. Like I have the chance of being a podcast host now because I started posting memes like 2 years ago, and then bit by bit, I didn't see it coming. Bit by bit, like contracts and partnerships and all of that, and it's just starting with memes and me being terrified but wanted to bring some fun in the community. So yep,
yeah, and
just start posting.
now you are the podcast host because of LinkedIn.
Right. You see, it can lead to real opportunities. So just get started.
Yeah.
Speaking about those kind of opportunities that we get through LinkedIn, when did you first started getting them after you started posting? And because now I assume that it compounded real quick, but at first probably you didn't get so many of the sponsored collaboration. So, and also, do you have any tips for people to be able to get them?
Okay, let me start. So the first question was how long it took me to see partnerships. Here, straight answer: 1 year.
Okay.
I had just crossed 5,000 followers back then. 5,000 followers, and SEMrush wrote me. So I almost fainted when I saw their
That's a
message.
strong
Yeah,
first
because
one.
yeah, SEMrush was the first one. So imagine you are this anonymous guy, just reached 5,000, and you get this email from SEMrush. Hey, we would like to partner with you, and you think, is this a scam or what? So
It's definitely a scam.
fortunately, it was not, and I really enjoyed it. But here, okay, so how long it can take? I explained that. I was posting on an average pace 3 times per week back then. So just for a reference for who is going to listen this episode, um, what suggestion I can give to those who are considering partnerships? As usual, here is a suggestion about something that I wish I have done, but I didn't. The thing that I'm talking about is outreach to these companies. I've been having this on my on the tip of my brain for at least 6 months, but I still didn't start reaching out to the companies for partnerships um, because I was having enough partnerships already, like inbound. But I know I
Yeah.
can have more. Mm, so I think we should. I have been chatting with a guy 3 months ago, and he told me, yeah, I have a person who is helping me to do just that in my team. I have a person reaching out to companies to establish partnerships. Said,
Yep.
oh, and in that moment, I said, oh, wow. So this thing works if he has a team member doing that. So I will explore it this year, and I suggest others do the same, especially if they have a small audience, like sub 10,000.
That makes sense. What I've done in the past when I was looking for partnerships too, every time I would see another SEO doing a partnership on LinkedIn, basically, and I would like the brand or not dislike the brand at least, I would just take a note of the brand and be like, hey, I've noticed you partner with Patrick, with Artur. Do you want to do the same with me? And I'm like, huh, yeah, sure, why not? And it worked quite well. And it's very easy. It's just like, hey, I noticed you did that. Do you want to do the same with me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And for people that are not really aware of the pricing, for those kind of posts, usually they pay well. They can pay depending on your followers. You can make more than $500 per post, 6, 7, 800. The top profiles they bill more than a grand, 1.5 per post. So there is potential once you have an audience to really monetize it.
Yeah.
So it's possible to do it. I just want to tell our audience you can definitely do this.
Yeah, nice suggestion. We need to take notes about the partnerships and just reach out to the influencer marketing manager.
Awesome. Now, time for the last section, the rapid fire. I'm going to ask you a question I didn't ask prior. And ideally, if you can just answer them quickly.
Hmm.
And I won't interrupt
Sure.
you, promise. So, in terms of video, what's the kind of length that performs the best for you?
45 seconds.
Oh, shit. I didn't expect that. Well, great. Okay. And you tested longer format, 45 seconds a bit. All right. Interesting.
But I tested, yes, but it was just extra work for less views.
I love the
So
honesty again.
45 seconds, good to go.
All right. This I feel like you can already answer, but maybe just to remind people, what's the minimum post amount per week for growth on LinkedIn? If there is a minimum post,
Let's go with 2.
okay. As long as you stick with it, I would say, guys, yeah, that's fine. Just stick with it.
Yeah.
Don't be like me. Don't disappear and reappear every few months, please.
Yeah, we need your memes back on the platform.
Thanks, man. How to use AI to help you with content creation without sounding like everyone else?
Okay. Here, 2 things you should do. First, go to Nicolas Cole LinkedIn profile, download some carousels which teach you how not to write AI sounding text. First of all, study it, hopefully, and then give it to Claude or to your AI tool. Don't make it forget. So really make it remember. And then before posting it, for God's sake, review the content before sending it online, because you you can teach AI how much you want, but for some reason it will still repeat the same errors. And AI is quite bad with jokes. So
Yeah.
open that text, review it, remove the sounding AI sounding words, and put some jokes inside, some rhetorical questions. If that is your kind of personality.
Put your personality, yeah, like that. Or be authentic. Yeah, if you're not like don't want to be funny, don't try to be overly funny. If
No,
you
no,
want to be
please
like
don't.
very precise and like I don't know, like for, I am thinking of Ivan Pali from Sidechecker, used to be my manager. He's not trying to be funny; he's just trying to be super precise and methodical with everything he does, and he's just that's him, and I love it. So be yourself, be authentic. Um, Last question: what's the biggest lie you heard about LinkedIn growth?
That it's possible to get a shit ton of leads just by posting educational content.
That kind of remind me of what people used to say. You just have to post. Yeah, you don't just have to post. You have to post with a plan and an idea and how to frame things. And okay, awesome, man. Well, that was it. Thank you so much, Arthur. So thank you everyone for following. We Collaborator.pro, a pure distribution marketplace connecting advertisers and publishers. So please go check us out. And if you're wondering why growth is slow, you just heard why video first multi-channel content is the move. So the formula is quite simple. Start with your video, repurpose everywhere, and stop overthinking it. Doing it is better than trying to reach something perfect you want. So just do it. So are you ready to get on video? Are you still hiding behind text? It took me a while, to get on videos, and I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying that there's lots of opportunities there. Follow Arthur on LinkedIn, where he shares his content strategy a few times a week, and you can check out his work now with his new agency, Generate More too. Thanks for listening, watching, and talk to you soon. Bye.